Okay, in this first one, we are going to make two binomials. And we need our first term to multiply to 3x squared, so I'm going to do 3x and x. And then our last two need to multiply to 4, so I could do 4 and 1 or 2 and 2. I'm going to try 2 and 2. And then my inside terms multiply to 2x, my outside terms multiply to 6x, and if those are both negative, that does add to negative 8x, and then negative 2 times negative 2 gives me positive 4. And then the next one has a greatest common factor, so we need to factor out, all of these terms are divisible by 2, so I can factor out a 2 first. And I get 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. And then I factor that into two binomials. So I leave the 2 in the front, and we need, our first two terms need to multiply to 5x squared, so it's got to be 5x and x. Our last two terms need to multiply to 2, so it has to be 2 and 1. I'm going to put the 2 here and the 1 here, so I get 2x for my inner terms, and 5x for the outer terms. And if I want them to add to 3x, I need 5x to be positive and 2x to be negative. So I'm going to put a plus right here and a minus right there. Okay, and the next one, again we have a GCF. Both terms are divisible by 3, so I factor out a 3 and I get 9x squared minus 1. And then both 9x squared and 1 are perfect squares, so this is a difference of squares. I leave the 3 in the front, and that factors to be 3x minus 1, 3x plus 1. And then for our last one, again we have a GCF. All terms are divisible by 3, and they all have at least one x, so I can take out an x. And I get 2x squared plus 5xy minus 3y squared. And so I leave the 3x in front, and I need my first two terms to multiply to 2x squared, so it's got to be 2x and x. My last two terms need to multiply to 3y squared, so it's got to be 3y and y, and I'm going to put the 3y over here and the y here. My inside terms multiply to xy. My outside terms multiply to 6xy, and if I want them to add to 5xy, I need my 6xy to be positive and my 1xy to be negative. So I put a minus here and a plus there. And there you go.